Hey guys and welcome to my channel. Today we are doing, what if Ash was betrayed by his friends? Ash Ketchum is betrayed by most of his friends after a grave tragedy. He leaves Pallet Town with Serena and vows to destroy them on his return. But can he? Will he survive and come back stronger? A bit OP Ash and Serena and a lot of battles. With that out of the way, let's begin this what if. Gardevoir is unable to battle, Spiritomb wins. The winner of the battle is Cynthia. The referee announced as Mega Gardevoir reverted to its original form while Spiritomb was just able to pick itself up. Can you believe what we have all just witnessed? We could not have had a better start to the quarterfinals than this. Two former champions going head to head, not giving an inch to each other, but in the end, the Sinnoh Elite Four prevailed when we all thought it was going to be a stalemate. It was an extremely narrow loss for Diantha while Cynthia moved to the semifinals. Our next battle is between the current and former Kalos Queens. It's Serena versus Aria. Stay tuned, people. It is going to be one amazing battle. The commentator announced. Cynthia and Diantha shook their hands and waved towards the crowd before moving inside together to meet their friends. Inside the stadium. Hey Aria, ready for our battle? Serena asked excitedly. Of course, I have been looking forward to it. I am planning to take my revenge after the last time. Aria replied with a grin. That's not going to happen. Anyways, best of luck. May the best trainer win, agreed to that. All the best, Serena. The two shared a handshake as they prepared to go to the battle arena. Let the battle begin. The referee announced the start of the battle. The computer had chosen Serena to choose her first Pokemon, Aromatisse. It's time to battle. Serena called her first Pokemon. Let's make it interesting. Aromatisse, come on out. Aria called her Aromatisse. We will start. Aromatisse. Use disarming voice. Serena called out the first attack. You too, Aromatisse. Disarming voice. Aria called the same attack. Both the attacks hit their targets as they flinched a little. Now use Moonblast. Counter it with Moonblast. Again, the same attacks were called by their respective trainers as the two Moonblasts hit either Pokemon as both felt some more discomfort. Use disarming voice again. You too, Aromatisse. Disarming voice once more. The result was the same as the first time. Serena decided that it was time for something different. Aromatisse, use Thunder. Serena called the attack. Aromatisse, dodge it and use Moonblast. Aria's Aromatisse successfully dodged the incoming Thunder from its counterpart and sent a Moonblast. Moonblast to counter. This time, the two Moonblast nullified each other, but it left Serena's Aromatisse open to another attack. Use Flash Cannon, dodge it. Serena's Aromatisse almost dodged it but was partially hit by the Flash Cannon. The Fairy-type grimaced in pain due to the super effective attack even though it wasn't a direct hit. Continue attacking. Use Flash Cannon again. Aromatisse used Thunder to counter it. This time the Flash Cannon was cancelled by the Thunder. Now use Psychic, counter it with Psychic. The two attacks landed on each other again as both Pokemon were thrown backwards. Although Serena's Aromatisse had taken more damage from the partially hit Flash Cannon, it still managed to hold on to one of Aria's oldest Pokemon. Flash Cannon again, counter it with Thunder again. Aromatisse, use Psychic to change the direction of Flash Cannon. You too, Aromatisse. Psychic to counter the Flash Cannon with Thunder. The two attacks collided again, but the two Fairy types were getting tired by now. Now use Moonblast. Aria called the next attack, dodge it and use a Draining Kiss. Serena's Aromatisse dodged the Moonblast and was able to land the Draining Kiss, but it was not very effective though Aria's Aromatisse flinched a bit. The two Pokemon had used most of their energy. However, Serena's Aromatisse was more in pain than its opponent. It was time for maybe one last attack. Use Dazzling Gleam. Both the trainers called the move at the same time. The attacks hit both their targets at full power. Neither Pokemon was giving up. When the attacks ended, the two Pokemon were still standing. The trainers waited to see if their Pokemon could continue. Neither said a word as the whole stadium went silent in anticipation. Both the Pokemon winced, but then one Aromatisse fell down. Serena's Aromatisse is unable to battle. Aria's Aromatisse wins. The crowd went bananas at the referee's announcement. Finally, Serena had lost a Pokemon after her comeback as Yellow, and it was against her idol, the person she had always looked up to. Both the trainers were shocked in disbelief. Then, Serena smiled and called back Aromatus. "Thank you, Aromatus. You did a great job today. Now take some rest." She then turned to Arya and said, "That was really great, Arya. Just what I had expected from our battle, but I am just getting warmed up." "I am not going down today," Arya also smiled and replied, "Well, then bring it on. I don't plan on losing either." The battle was getting heated up. Serena sent her next Pokemon. Milotic, it's your turn to battle. The beautiful shiny Pokemon with blue fins and yellow tail entered the battlefield with grace. "You did great, Aromatus. Take some rest for now. I will need you later." Arya recalled her Pokemon and sent out her next one. Abomasnow, let's battle. The battlefield was now covered with hail due to Abomasnow's ability Snow Warning. Milotic start with Dragon Dance. Serena started the battle to increase the speed and attack of her Pokemon. Abomasnow, use Wood Hammer. Arya called her first attack, dodge it and use Dragon Dance. Milotic was extremely agile to begin with, and with the added speed boost of Dragon Dance, it easily dodged the Wood Hammer. Use Leaf Storm. Abomasnow, Arya called another grass-type move, counter it with Hydro Pump. Milotic was able to evade most of the attack, though a couple of leaves made past the Hydro Pump and hit her as it caused a little pain. On the other hand, the Water-type move made it past the Leaf Storm due to increased attack power and hit Abomasnow, though it wasn't very effective. Now use Blizzard. Milotic, counter with Scald. The effect of the Icy Blizzard was nullified by the heat of Scald. Use Leaf Storm again. Use Twister. Twister was able to counter the Leaf Storm. Abomasnow, use Ice Punch. Arya was on offense, not wanting to give Serena any window of opportunity. Dodge it and use Scald again. Milotic dodged the attack and used Scald again, which caused pain to Abomasnow from a close range due to the heat of the Water-type attack. Abomasnow, use Leaf Storm again. Arya called the move. Milotic, counter shield with Twister. Serena used the counter shield, which was invented by her husband. Use Wood Hammer, block it with Hydro Pump. The Water-type move was able to block the incoming attack. Abomasnow used Leaf Storm once more. Milotic, counter shield with Twister again. It was not working for Arya, but she kept her cool and called the next attack. Now Ice Punch once more. Serena waited for Abomasnow to come nearer and called out the next move, Iron Tail. Milotic avoided the attack and landed a perfect Iron Tail. Arya was surprised but did not let her guard down. Use Wood Hammer. Even though it was in great pain, Abomasnow used its other arm to land the Wood Hammer on Milotic's tail, who winced in pain too. But Serena was also not going to give her opponent a second of breathing space. Milotic Scald. This time Scald again hit Abomasnow from close range and caused the burn. Both the trainers went for the next attack. Abomasnow, Wood Hammer, Milotic, Iron Tail. Both the Pokemon had dealt damage and went broke. Milotic, with her superior speed, was able to narrowly dodge the attack and hit Abomasnow with the super effective Steel-type move. Abomasnow fell on the ground and fainted. Abomasnow is unable to battle. This round goes to Milotic. The score is 1-1. Arya called back her Abomasnow, thanking her as she called out her next Pokemon, one of her strongest. "It is time to battle, dear." Serena smiled. She had known Arya would, of course, use her Steel Fairy-type Pokemon. It was one of her strongest and could Mega Evolve. She had planned on how to counter it. By fighting Mega Evolution with Mega Evolution. "Come one out, my friend." Out came her Dark Fire-type Pokemon. Arya realized Serena's plan and decided to go all out from the start. "Serena, let's use our full power in this battle. I don't want to hold back." Arya said, pumped up. "Exactly what I was thinking. I don't want to hold back either." Serena replied with equal excitement. Let the battle begin. The referee announced, "Mawile, my dear, with the power of our bond Mega Evolve. Let's show them our combined strength, Houndoom. Mega Evolve, we will start this time. Mawile, use Fairy Wind." Arya called the first attack in this round. "Stop it with Dark Pulse." Serena countered, use flash cannon. Arya called out the next attack, overheat. The fire-type move easily overpowered the flash cannon and made its way towards Mawile, dodge it and use play rough. Mawile almost dodged the super effective attack as it took some damage as the fire-type move scratched past her body, but that didn't deter her from moving towards its opponent to land its move, use Crunch to counter it. Houndoom, the two Pokemon went head-on and took some damage, though it was a bit more in case of Houndoom. Use Iron Head, Mawile, Thunder Fawn and aim its head. The Iron Head hit Houndoom, who was able to land the perfect Thunder Fawn on Mawile's head. Mawile flinched though Houndoom also took a bit of damage. Now Mawile, break, get out of there Houndoom, Serena shouted. Houndoom tried to get as far as possible, but from such a close range Mawile didn't miss as the attack hit Houndoom on the side of its body and it fell on the ground due to the attack. But Houndoom was not going to give up as it stood back up. Mawile, don't let it rest, use break again, Fire Blast. Serena called out the attack, gathering herself after Houndoom took damage from the fighting type move. Mawile was too close to land the attack and the Fire Blast hit it before it could think anything where Arya could give the command. No, Mawile, Arya screamed as Mawile flew backwards, use overheat again. Serena was not giving Mawile a chance to recover from the damage, counter it with flash cannon. Again, the fire-type move overpowered the flash cannon, now dodge it and use Fairy Wind again. Arya tried to use a similar strategy, but Serena was not letting her get out of it this time. You are not getting out this time. Houndoom follow Mawile's direction and use overheat with full power. Mawile was able to evade the attack the first time but was eventually caught by the fire-type move. The super effective attack did a lot of damage to the Steel Fairy type. After the attack ended, Mawile stood up with a lot of difficulties. Are you able to continue, Mawile? Mawile just winced, but a moment later it fell on the ground, reverting to its original form. After coming out of her initial shock, Arya smiled and thanked Mawile, calling it back to its Pokeball. Serena also called back Houndoom, who was visibly tired, intending to give it rest for later. Arya and Serena sent out her next Pokemon at the same time. Come out, Corsola. Arya sent her fourth Pokemon. It's time to battle, Sazbuk. Serena called out her next Pokemon, which was in its spring form. Arya was at a serious type disadvantage, but she had some moves up her sleeve. She had a plan and hoped it would work. Corsola, use Power Gem. Arya called the attack. Use Megahorn to deflect it. The Megahorn easily got rid of the Power Gem. Use Hydro Pump. Arya called the next move, dodge it and use Horn Leech. Serena called her first attacking move of the round as Sazbuk dodged the Hydro Pump, dodge it and use Scald, dodge and Horn Leech again. The Hot Water attack missed Sazbuk by inches as Serena called the next attack. Do it now, Corsola, Ice Beam. This was Arya's trump card, get away from there, Sazbuk. But Sazbuk had momentum against him as the Ice-type attack caused much damage. Are you alright? Serena asked Sazbuk and got a positive reply. Good then, I think it's our turn to up the ante, Corsola, Ice Beam again. As usual, Arya didn't want to give Serena or her Pokemon time to adjust, counter with Hyper Beam. The Hyper Beam was more powerful than the Ice Beam and overpowered the attack. Corsola dodged it at the last moment on Arya's command, Ice Beam once more. Finish this. Arya thought to take advantage of the Hyper Beam, thinking it would take Sazbuk some time to recover. However, it was the Pokemon of the Kalos Queen. Serena called the next move. Energy Ball to block the Ice Beam. The Energy Ball burst on hitting the Ice Beam. Arya got a bit surprised seeing Sazbuk able to use the next move immediately after Hyper Beam. Serena used the split-second distraction to her advantage, get nearer and unleash Energy Ball, Rapid Fire, use Ice Beam on all of them. Corsola was busy dealing with the incoming attack as Sazbuk kept moving forward and unleashing the Energy Balls. Wild Charge. The Wild Charge hit its mark as Corsola whimpered, get up, Corsola. Use Scald. Arya called the attack, trying to get on the offense, don't stop Sazbuk. Use Horn Leech. This was unexpected from the top coordinator. Sazbuk took burns on its body but kept moving forward and landed the Horn Leech. Absorbing some energy to restore itself, finish it with Energy Ball. Serena called the next move as Corsola was unable to dodge the super effective move. Corsola is unable to battle. This round goes to Sazbuk. The referee declared, you were great, Corsola. Have some good rest. Arya thanked her Pokemon and recalled it. Sazbuk, you were wonderful there. You deserve a long rest. Serena also called back her Pokemon. Arya sent her next Pokemon first. Aromatisse, time to battle again. Gagote, I need your assistance. Serena called out her next Pokemon. Aromatisse, let's do this quick. Use Moonblast. Arya started the proceedings. Gagote, use Energy Ball and charge forward. The Energy Ball cancelled the Moonblast as Gagote charged forwards towards its opponent. Aromatisse, use Flash Cannon. Stop it in its track. Arya called out the next move to stop or at least slow down Gagote, cut through it with Leaf Blade and hit Aromatisse. Serena called the move as Gagote kept charging forward to hit its target, go left and dodge it. Arya directed her Pokemon to evade the attack. Iron Tail. Now, Serena called out the next move as Gagote landed the perfect attack. Aromatisse is unable to battle. Gagote is the winner. The referee announced. Aromatisse had already taken a lot of damage from its previous battle and one super effective move was enough to knock it out. Arya was now down to her last 2 Pokemon. Serena still had 5, though 3 of them had taken a lot of damage from their previous battles. She needed to keep her head cool as she sent out her next Pokemon. Vivillon, it's time to shine. Arya called her 5th Pokemon. Gagote, I am counting on you. Serena did not change her Pokemon, sticking with Gagote. Vivillon used Quiver Dance. Vivillon increased its special attack, special defense, and speed. Gagote used Leech Seed. Serena also called a status move as the Leech Seed landed on Vivillon. Vivillon used Aerial Ace. U2 Gagote Aerial Ace. The 2 Pokemon hit each other as they both took severe damage from the super effective attack. The Leech Seed caused Vivillon to flinch a bit and lose more of its energy that was transferred to Gagote. Alright, Gagote used Leaf Blade. Vivillon, Bug Bite. The Leaf Blade hit its target but did not cause much damage. On the contrary, Gagote suffered more due to Bug Bite. But then Leech Seed's effects helped it restore some of its energy from at the expense of Vivillon's. Gagote used Aerial Ace again. Vivillon used Aerial Ace once more. The match was more like take the hit and hit back on the opponent as both the Pokemon had taken severe damage. Gagote, let's end this with Rock Slide. Serena knew Gagote was not going to last longer, though Leech Seed was able to restore some of its energy. So, she went for the final surprise. Vivillon used Double Team. The Rock Slide hit the copies of the Bug Flying type as the real Vivillon was successful in evading the attack. Use Aerial Ace once more. Serena called for the same attack again as the Grass-type moves won't be effective against Vivillon. Vivillon, end this with Signal Beam. Arya shouted at the top of her voice. Gagote, don't stop. Take it and keep going. Serena screamed. The attacks successfully hit their targets as both the Pokemon fainted at the same time. It is a tie. Both Vivillon and Gagote are unable to battle. The referee announced. The battle was a short one as both trainers were on the offensive side in this round. Arya was down to her final Pokemon as Serena lost her second Pokemon of the match. Both the trainers recalled their respective Pokemon to their respective Pokeball. They looked at each other smiling and nodded. They both knew their opponent's Pokemon for the final round. Delphox, it's time to battle. Both Serena and Arya called their final Pokemon onto the battlefield. Let the battle begin. Use Future Sight. Serena called the first attack. Use Future Sight. Arya also called the same move. It seemed both the trainers had a similar strategy. Use Fire Blast. Delphox. Serena's Delphox made the move. U2 Delphox, Fire Blast. Arya's Delphox also unleashed the attack as the 2 Fire Blasts cancelled each other. Now Flamethrower. Use Flamethrower to counter. Both the flamethrowers again cancelled out each other. At this moment, the future sight of both the Pokemon hit each other. Though the damage was not a lot, still both the Pokemon flinched a bit. Use Telekinesis. Serena's Delphox used the attack as Arya's Delphox was now levitated for the next 3 turns, but it would be easier to land a hit. Use Flamethrower. Arya called the next move. She knew her opponent had an advantage now. Wait for it, Serena said calmly. Now dodge and use Fire Blast. Use Fire Blast to counter it. Now Flamethrower again. Serena had called the next attack even before Arya's Delphox had released the Fire Blast. That split-second advantage helped her to land the flamethrower on her opponent's Pokemon as the fire blasts cancelled out each other. Use Thunder Punch, Arya called the next attack, dodge it and use Future Sight. The effect of telekinesis was over now. Now foul play. The foul play hit its mark on Serena's Delphox, who took a lot of damage, but she was standing. Serena smiled and immediately called the next attack, Shadow Ball. The Ghost-type move from the close range hit its target. Arya's Delphox winced in pain this time but carried on with the battle. Now Flamethrower, Arya called the attack, U2 Delphox, Flamethrower. Both the Pokemon were evenly matched and were at a very close distance with each other as the heat radiated in the arena. But neither of them was giving up. At this moment the Future Sight hit Arya's Delphox. Serena used this chance to call the next move. Use Future Sight, Delphox, use Future Sight too. Arya also used the same attack. Now use Fire Blast, counter it with your Fire Blast. The two Fire Blasts again cancelled out each other. By now both Pokemon had gotten tired due to the continuous attacks and damage due to the super effective moves. Shadow Ball, Serena called the attack again, Delphox, dodge and use Foul Play. Arya's Delphox just dodged the attack and went for the hit, Shadow Ball again. The Shadow Ball landed on Arya's Delphox, but Serena's Delphox also got hit by the foul play. The two Future Sights also hit both the Pokemon at that moment. Both of them had taken serious damage now. Use Foul Play. Use Shadow Ball. Both the trainers shouted out the moves as the attacks hit their respective targets at the same time. Use Mystical Fire. Both trainers called the move at the same time as the attacks landed on their respective targets that inflicted damage on the already hurt Pokemon. Use Foul Play, end this with Shadow Ball. The attacks hit their targets perfectly, inflicting enough damage for them to faint. But both Pokemon were still standing and looked at each other panting. At that moment, Serena's Delphox went down one knee and hit the ground but still managed to get hold of herself. Arya took this opportunity to call out another attack. Delphox, use FO- even before she could complete her sentence, her Delphox fell on the ground and fainted. Arya's Delphox is unable to battle. Serena's Delphox wins. Since Arya has lost all her Pokemon, the winner of the battle is Serena. What a match this was, ladies and gentlemen. Started with 2 Aromatisse and ended with 2 Delphox. Serena loses a Pokemon for the first time since her return as Yellow. In fact, she lost her second Pokemon today. Arya started brilliantly winning the first battle, but Serena showed why she has been the top coordinator in 5 regions. In the end, the current Kalos Queen gets the victory over the former Kalos Queen. Serena moves into the semifinals. The 2 elite trainers hug it out to show their sportsmanship and friendship as they wave to acknowledge the crowd for their support. Don't go anywhere, friends. We have 2 more exciting battles. The next one is between the former Kanto Kamjado and the former Unova champions, Lance and Alder. Who will win this amazing encounter? Stay tuned to find out. The commentator announced enthusiastically. Serena and Arya went to the Pokemon Center first and deposited their Pokemon to heal. They soon found out their friends and Serena's mother had come from the stands to meet them. They all congratulated Serena on her victory and Arya on the incredible battle. That was a wonderful battle, both of you. I can believe my little girl is into semifinals. Arya, you were really exceptional out there. Grace said, smiling at both of them. Congratulations, Serena. It was wonderful. Arya, you were amazing too. Cynthia said, it was a wonderful battle. You both were great. Diantha said, hugging both, congrats, Serena. Hard luck, Arya, but you were absolutely awesome. Clement said excitedly, yeah. Finally, someone managed to beat Serena's Pokemon. Steven stated, that's true, and to be honest, I am glad it's Arya. I have always looked up to her, and this means I still have a lot more to improve. Serena replied, smiling, you are right, it was really great. I enjoyed it a lot even though I lost. Well, now that you have beaten me, you better win the whole tournament. Arya said, grinning, well, let's get something to eat. Then we have to go for Lance and Alder's battle. Ash said as he led the way to the restaurant holding Serena's hand. That's classic Ash. Always hungry. Bonnie sighed as everyone laughed and followed him. I hope you are ready for our battle, Alder. It is an honor getting to officially battle you finally. Lance said to Alder with respect, the honor is mine, lad. But I am not going down. You might have been the winner last time around, but this old man has got some tricks up his sleeves too. Alder replied, smiling. Well, I am going to give it my all. Dragonite use Outrage, Buffalint, take it down with Head Charge. The two Pokemon hit each other all their power as the impact could be felt even in the stands. Both the Pokemon slid back due to recoil. Moments later, Buffalint fell on the ground unconscious. Buffalint is unable to battle. Dragonite wins. Since Alder has lost all his Pokemon, Lance is the winner. The referee announced. After recovering their initial shock, both trainers thanked and recalled their Pokemon. You were amazing out there, Dragonite. Now take a good rest, wonderful as always, my old friend. You did great. Take a long rest for now that was a battle I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, Alder said grinning. True that. Thank you for the wonderful battle, Alder. It was a close one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Lance replied with a smile. The two trainers shook hands and waved at the crowd as they went inside to meet their friends. I swear the tournament is getting heated up even more after every battle. That battle was a showcase of speed, strength, and strategy. It was so evenly contested throughout that for the first time in this tournament we got to see 4 double knockouts in a single match. This was a battle for the history books. We now have our third semi-finalist, the winner of the previous Masters Victory Tournament, Lance. Can he win it this time too? Only time will tell that. But do not leave your seat, people, as we have one more power-packed battle, the last quarter-final, as the former champion and current Elite Four of Hoenn takes on the champion of the 6 regions. It's Steven Stone versus Ash Ketchum. Who will be the last to join Cynthia, Serena, and Lance in the semifinals? To get your answers, stay tuned. The commentator announced with a lot of enthusiasm, what? But why? Ash asked, surprised. Everyone was astonished at this sudden revelation. Well, I am already old and this seems to be the perfect time to retire. Might go visiting a few places. Probably settle in Alola and help out my good friend Samson in his research and that school of his. I have had more than enough of my share of battling. Perhaps it's time to have a peaceful life for now. Alder replied, but what about the Unova Elite Four? Ash questioned with concern. I believe Caitlin will have no issues in returning to her duties as the Elite Four member. She has done great in this tournament too. I am sure she will be excited to return to her previous status. Alder said with an assuring smile, alright, if that's your decision, then I have no option but to accept it, Ash said as he shook hands with the older man. That means we have a party to plan for tonight. Bonnie said excitedly, young age, always up for a party. But maybe not tonight, dear girl. After the tournament you can do whatever you want, but for now let the others concentrate on their battles. It will be one from this group that is going to the champion. So, all can celebrate later together. Alder said, smiling at Bonnie, who pouted, I think we can talk about this later and let Ash and Steven focus on their battle for now, Clement said as everyone nodded in agreement. They all went to the stands to witness the last match of the quarterfinals. Ready for the battle, Ash? Steven asked, smiling, absolutely. May the best trainer win. Good luck, Steven, Ash replied as the two friends shook hands. You too, Ash. They both went on to enter the battle arena. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final match of the day. The last battle in this quarterfinals. So far we have had 3 breathtaking matches and this will surely be one of that kind. We have already got our 3 semifinalists in Cynthia, Serena, and Lance. So, who will be the last one to reach the final 4? Without further ado, let us call the 2 trainers going to battle for that spot in the semifinals. On one side, we have the former champion and current Elite Four of Hoenn, Steven Stone. His opponent for the day is the man who has taken this tournament by storm, the champion of the 6 regions, formerly known as Red. Ash Ketchum. The crowd went bonkers as the 2 trainers entered the arena waving at the masses. The commentator continued his announcement, The rules for the battle are the same as the previous 3 matches. It is going to be a 6-on-6 battle with substitutions allowed. The computer randomizer will now show the trainer to choose his Pokemon first. The computer showed that Ash had to send his first Pokemon. Ash Ketchum will reveal his first Pokemon. The referee announced, "Snorlax, it's time to show your power." Ash called out to his powerhouse, the sleeping Pokemon, Armaldo, "It's time to battle." Steven sent out his first Pokemon. "Let the battle begin, Snorlax, use Mega Kick." Ash called the first attack, Armaldo, Harden. Armaldo increased its defense but still felt the power of Snorlax. "Use Mega Kick." Again, Armaldo, use X-Scissor. This time, the X-Scissor blocked the Mega Kick, but Armaldo was pushed backwards with the sheer power of the sleeping Pokemon. Mega Kick once more. Ash used the same move again, Flash Cannon. Steven didn't go for a physical attack this time, rather defended it from a distance. "Alright Snorlax, use Hammer Arm." Ash was not backing down from attacking even though it took the Flash Cannon. "Dodge it and use X-Scissor again." Armaldo was faster than Snorlax and dodged before landing the move. Snorlax felt the attack but then shrugged it off. Snorlax, Ice Punch, counter it with Flash Cannon. Again, Flash Cannon blocked the incoming attack. Snorlax, time to get more offensive, use Belly Drum. Ash was going all out. A good offense is the best defense, he thought. "Armaldo, it's our chance, use Stone Edge." Steven wanted to end this before Snorlax could land a hit on his Pokemon because Snorlax had increased its attacking power to maximum but had lost half its energy. For that, he needed to get closer, block it with Hammer Arm. The Hammer Arm broke the Stone Edge into pieces. "Move in close and use X-Scissor." Steven called the next move, Ice Punch. Steven smiled and called the super effective move. "Dodge it and use Brick Break." This time Ash smiled. He was waiting for something just like this. He had full confidence in Snorlax that it could take the hit and still stand to fight. "Catch it and don't let go, Armaldo, get out of there." Heavy Slam. Snorlax jumped holding Armaldo and proceeded to land. "Armaldo, use Flash Cannon, get out of the grip." Armaldo used Flash Cannon desperately but Snorlax's grip was way too strong. Snorlax took the attack but still held its opponent as they landed on the ground with it on top of Armaldo. Armaldo is unable to battle. Snorlax wins. The referee announced. Armaldo was unable to get out of the super effective move with the increased power of Snorlax as it fainted. Ash won the first round as Steven lost his first Pokemon. "Cradily, come out to battle." Steven called his next Pokemon. "Alright Snorlax, let's attack. Use Last Resort, block it with Stone Edge." The Stone Edge just managed to block the powerful Last Resort, but it was just a distraction as Snorlax had moved next to its opponent. "Ice Punch, dodge it Cradily." Cradily almost dodged it as some part of its body was hit by the Ice-type move, causing it some pain from the super effective attack. Even though it hadn't landed perfectly, Ash now decided to change his tactics. "Snorlax, you have done enough. Have a nice sleep. You were wonderful as always, buddy." He recalled his Snorlax and revealed the next Pokemon. "It's time to battle, old friend." He called out one of his oldest Pokemon. Many in the crowd were surprised at the choice as the flying type would be at a serious disadvantage against Cradily. "It is our turn to attack, Cradily. Use Stone Edge, up and dodge it." Pidgeot was way too fast for Cradily as it flew up. "Use Rock Slide, dodge it." Pidgeot once again dodged the attack, Ancient Power. While Pidgeot was busy dodging the Rock Slide, Cradily sent out another Rock-type move that hit its mark. "Pidgeot, are you alright?" Ash got an affirmative response from his Pokemon, again Rock Slide. Steven was hoping to get a hit this time, Double Team. Pidgeot multiplied itself in the air as the Rock Slide hit its fake copies. Now, Hurricane, Cradily, dodge it. Cradily somehow managed to dodge the attack. "Use Sky Attack, Stone Edge to counter." Steven called the move to counter the attack. "Move to your left." Pidgeot was fast enough to dodge the attack, counter it with Ancient Power. The Sky Attack landed on its target and before Pidgeot could move away from there, the Ancient Power hit its mark. Both the Pokemon flinched. Pidgeot used Hurricane once more, block it with Stone Edge. Steven was solely reliant on the Rock-type moves, as Grass-type attacks were not effective on Pidgeot. "Pidgeot, go for another Sky Attack." "Cradily, use Brine." "Pidgeot, take it and keep going." though Pidgeot slowed down a bit and took some damage from the move. It still landed the Sky attack on its opponent. Cradily, use Ancient Power. Pidgeot, dodge it and use Hurricane. Pidgeot dodged it successfully and sent its next attack, Block with Stone Edge. The Hurricane broke through the Stone Edge with its power but didn't reach its target. Now use Double Team, use Rock Slide to take out the fake copies. The Rock Slide started cancelling out the Double Team, but Ash was aware to call the next attack, use Sky Attack. Pidgeot was extremely fast as the Sky Attack landed on Cradily, who went down. Cradily, get up. Cradily slowly managed to get up. Ash waited for Steven to call out the next attack, use Rock Slide again. Steven called the super effective attack again. Double Team and move in close. All copies of Pidgeot moved in towards Cradily with full speed, use Brine in all directions. Steven knew there was no way out Cradily could dodge. He hoped to stop the real Pidgeot, finish it with Steel Wing full power. The attack came from behind and landed perfectly on Cradily. It tried to stand and continue the battle but couldn't. Ash Pidgeot was just too powerful for Cradily to handle. Cradily is unable to battle. Pidgeot wins. The referee announced, "You did well, Cradily, now take some good rest." Steven recalled his Pokemon. "That was a great battle, Ash, but it is far from over. I am going to go all out," Steven said with a smile. He was enjoying this battle. "So was Ash. I wouldn't expect anything less, Steven, because I will give my everything," Ash replied, returning his smile. "Then here is my next partner. It is time to come out, Agron." Steven called his next Pokemon, one of his strongest. "Pidgeot, you did a great job. Time for some rest." Ash recalled Pidgeot and took out another Pokeball. "Let's see how you handle my next Pokemon. Golurk, let's win this. I am going all out this time. Agron, with the power of our bond, Mega Evolve, then we will start the battle. Use Shadow Punch, Golurk." Agron could not dodge the Shadow Punch as it was bound to hit its target. Agron, use Flash Cannon, stop it with Shadow Ball. The two attacks collided in the air and created a cloud of smoke. Now use Iron Tail, Bulldoze. The attacks landed on either Pokemon, though Agron took more damage due to the super effective Ground-type move. But Iron Tail was just a setup from Steven's side, Ice Punch. The Ice Punch hit its mark before Golurk could dodge it. "I am impressed, but you are gonna have to do better than that," Ash told Steven before calling the next attack. Use Shadow Punch, Agron, take it and use Flash Cannon again, block it with Shadow Ball, Iron Tail. Steven called the next move. It was going in the same way like the previous time, but Ash decided to change the tactics, catch it. Golurk held on to Agron, taking some damage as Agron tried to get free. Focus Punch, perfect hit. Agron was forced back, but still held its ground. Golurk, use High Horsepower. Ash called the next move immediately. Agron, use Darkest Lariat. The two attacks landed on each other as both Pokemon were pushed back, wincing in pain. Both were hit with super effective attacks, causing a lot of damage to each other. Agron, use Flash Cannon. Steven called the next attack at the same time as Ash, Shadow Punch. This time, both the attacks hit their opponents as the trainers were looking to end it. Use Ice Punch/Focus Punch. Both the trainers shouted as the Pokemon gave their everything into it as the attack landed perfectly. To everyone's surprise, both Pokemon were still standing, willing to continue. "Alright Golurk, Shadow Ball, counter it with Iron Tail." The Shadow Ball was deflected. Now, High Horsepower with full strength, Darkest Lariat with full power. Both the Pokemon landed their hits on each other. The whole stadium was waiting in anticipation to see who would be standing as one of them fell. Golurk is unable to battle, Mega Agron wins. The referee announced. Before anyone had time to react to this announcement, Mega Agron reverted to Agron and fainted. Agron is also unable to battle. It is a double knockout. The crowd went crazy at the result of the battle. "You did an amazing job, Golurk. Take a good rest now." Ash returned his Pokemon smiling. It looked like he was a bit upset about losing his first Pokemon, but he was proud of Golurk. He knew it had done an exceptional job in knocking out Mega Agron, which was Steven's one of the most powerful Pokemon. "You were wonderful again, Agron. Take a nice rest." Steven returned Agron, thanking it. That was probably the battle of the day, people. Two powerhouses knocking down each other. It looked like Galark had the type advantage, but Steven had a few moves up his sleeve to knock down the champion's first Pokemon of the tournament. That's right people, Ash Ketchum's unbeaten streak has finally been broken. Let's see what more surprises are there in the store. The commentator announced, "Trainers, call out your next Pokemon, your time has come, my friend." Ash called out his Pokemon first. It was Dragalge, the poison dragon type. Steven smiled. He had the perfect Pokemon for this. "It is time to battle, Claydol, use Shadow Ball." Ash called the first attack and it was the one that was supposed to be his element of surprise. "Dodge it and use Earth Power." Steven called out the attack as Claydol dodged, "Dodge it and use Shadow Ball again." Dragalge dodged it and sent another Shadow Ball, use Psybeam to block it. The Psybeam countered the Shadow Ball, use Shadow Ball again, use Psybeam to block. Again, the same result, Shadow Ball once more, Claydol, use Ancient Power. This time, the Ancient Power blocked the Shadow Ball once more. Everyone in the stadium including Steven was thinking what Ash was doing. It was like he had nothing to go on except this one move. Steven knew Ash was up to something, but it was kind of frustrating that the battle was going nowhere. Claydol dodge it and use Psybeam. Steven had done enough defending. Now it was his turn to attack, dodge it. Dragalge dodged the attack again, now use Zen Headbutt. Steven called the next super effective attack. Ash didn't call his move until the very last moment so that Claydol wouldn't be able to pull out of the attack, Night Slash. Dragalge dodged the incoming attack at the last instance and landed the Night Slash on its target. Dragalge can learn Night Slash? Doesn't matter if it can. The fact that it has is enough to change my strategy. Steven thought and called the next attack, use Psychic. Another super effective move, take it and use Nasty Plot. The whole crowd was shocked as nothing happened to Dragalge. The Psychic type move should have done a lot of damage, but Dragalge stood as if immune to the attack. Claydol, use Earth Power again, dodge it. This time, though, Ash's Pokemon wasn't completely successful in dodging the move and took a little damage. What happened next surprised everyone. In place of Dragalge stood the Illusion Fox Pokemon, Zoroark. Steven was unable to register for a moment about what had just happened. Ash took advantage of the momentary shock and called the next move. Use Night Slash, Claydol, dodge it. Claydol successfully dodged it only just but wasn't ready for the next attack. Dark Pulse, the super effective attack from close range, was on target. Claydol was down but not out. But Ash was not going to give it a chance to recover. Dark Pulse again, dodge it Claydol. But it couldn't dodge. The super effective attack at double power, hitting twice from point blank range, was too much for the ground psychic type Pokemon to handle. Before Claydol could gather whatever little energy it had, Zoroark was already into the next attack. End this with Night Slash. Claydol is unable to battle. Zoroark wins. This was the shortest battle in the match. Steven was still absorbing how the tables turned in the battle. It was a master move from the champion. He recalled Claydol, thanking him. He may have lost 4 of his Pokemon, but he was going to give his very best. Skarmory, it's time to take the stage. He called out his next Pokemon, Zoroark. Let's continue, Ash said, implying that he was not switching Pokemon. Not yet. Skarmory, use Steel Wing. Steven called the first attack, dodge it, and use Nasty Plot. Zoroark successfully dodged the attack and increased its special attack again. Now use Drill Peck, block it with Night Slash. Both the attacks impacted each other as their trainers called the next move immediately, use Flash Cannon. Steven went on the offensive way while Ash was doing most of the defense work, counter with Dark Pulse. The Dark Pulse hit the Flash Cannon and pushed it back due to the increased power of Zoroark's special attacks. Dodge it, Skarmory. Use Steel Wing once more. Steven had no choice but to dodge as he called the next move, block it with Night Slash. Again, the Night Slash impacted and blocked the attack, but both Pokemon had taken some damage, use X Scissor. Steven used his trump card as the two Pokemon were close to each other. Zoroark dodge it. Zoroark tried to dodge it but from a very close range, it got hit by the super effective move as it winced in pain. Are you alright, Zoroark? Ash asked concerned and got a positive reply from his Pokemon. Good job. Now, it's time to hit them back, use Flash Cannon and move forward. Steven was not letting Ash go on the offense. Dark Pulse. This time again, the Dark-type move overcame the Flash Cannon and moved towards Skarmory, dodge and X-Scissor. Skarmory went for another hit, but the same thing was not going to work against Ash. Shadow Ball now. Ash called the attack when Skarmory came close to Zoroark. The Shadow Ball hit its mark as the Steel Flying type Pokemon was pushed back, Dark Pulse. Ash took the chance and called the next attack, which once again hit his opponent's Pokemon before it could dodge. Skarmory, are you okay? Hit them with Brave Bird. Skarmory was still raring to go, charge forward and use U-turn. Both Pokemon impacted, taking damage as Zoroark went back inside his Pokeball. Ash's next Pokemon had entered the battle. Even before it had landed, Ash called out the next attack, Thunder, Dragalge, dodge it. Skarmory tried to dodge it but was only partially successful as the Thunder hit it towards the rear part of its body. It took a lot of damage from the powerful super effective move. Can you still battle, Skarmory? Skarmory gave an affirmative response to Steven, who called the next move. Then, use Flash Cannon, counter it with Dragon Pulse. The Dragon Pulse and Flash Cannon cancelled out each other, use Brave Bird. Steven figured he had to get in close for his Pokemon to have some impact as Flash Cannon was not going to work, hit it with Hydro Pump. Ash called the next attack to slow down Skarmory. Use Drill Peck and rotate to cut through it. Skarmory rotated and cut through the Hydro Pump to land the attack on its target. Take it, Ash said calmly and called the next move. Thunder, dodge it. Skarmory was way too close to Dragalge to dodge it. The Thunder impacted its target, which caused even more damage because it had gotten wet by taking on the Hydro Pump. Skarmory is unable to battle. Dragalge wins. Steven thanked Skarmory and returned it to its Pokeball. He had just one Pokemon left. It wasn't the first time he had lost to Ash. As a matter of fact, it went better than the last time. Still, he hadn't lost the match yet. He was going to give all he had, no matter the result. He smiled as he sent his next Pokemon. It is time to battle, Metagross. He called out his oldest Pokemon, his shiny Metagross. Dragalge, Metagross is fast. So, keep your guard up. Ash had to be careful as he knew Dragalge would find it tough to keep up with the speed of Metagross. Metagross, start with Flash Cannon. Steven called the first attack, block it with Hydro Pump. The two attacks collided with each other and cancelled out mid-air. Now use Psychic. The Psychic type attack would be super effective on Dragalge. Protect, Ash called the move and then nodded towards Dragalge as to communicate something, who returned the gesture. He then called the next attack. Great work, Dragalge, now, use Poison Tail. Take it. Steven thought it must have slipped Ash's mind that Metagross was immune to Poison-type moves. Poison-type moves don't work on Steel types, Ash, not even as a distraction? Ash smiled. Do it now. Steven didn't know what was happening, and by the time he realized, a Shadow Ball had hit Metagross, who flinched. That was great, Ash, but I am not going down just yet, Steven said as he called the next move. Use Psychic, use Thunder. Ash knew Dragalge would not be able to Metagross, especially when it Mega Evolves. So, he decided to cause some damage before the Psychic caught Dragalge. Now use Meteor Mash. Metagross held Dragalge and moved forward to land the Meteor Mash. Dragalge couldn't move now but could shield itself, fought Ash, Protect and Shadow Ball. The Meteor Mash hit the Protect barrier as Metagross bounced off it. Dragalge then sent the super effective attack. Metagross, use Protect and then Flash Cannon. Steven was ready this time for the Shadow Ball and called out his next offensive attack. Use Hydro Pump again. The two attacks cancelled out each other. Finish it with Zen Headbutt. Steven called another Psychic type move, stop it with Thunder. The Thunder hit Metagross as it took some damage. But it went forward and hit Dragalge with its attack, who took more damage. However, Dragalge had done its job. You have done enough, Dragalge. Thank you. Now take some good rest. Ash recalled Dragalge. It has been a great battle, Steven. I thank you for that, but I am winning this. My next Pokemon will see to that. Ash said, smiling. Bring it on then. Steven was excited too. Your time has come, old friend. Out came one of Ash's strongest Pokemon. If he had to put a team of his 6 most powerful Pokemon, this Pokemon would be one of them, his fastest grass type, so it is a rematch then. Steven exclaimed, exactly. Ash smiled. "Then I believe it's time to take this battle to the next level," Steven said, grinning. "You just stole the words out of my mouth," Ash responded cheerfully. "Keystone respond to our bond. Metagross Mega Evolve, Sceptile, let's get stronger with the power of our bond. Mega Evolve, Metagross, Magnet Rise and use Flash Cannon." Steven started the battle. He used Magnet Rise to be safe. Who knew what Ash had up his sleeve? Use Leaf Blade to cut it. Mega Sceptile's Leaf Blade cut through the Flash Cannon as if it was nothing. What power? Now use Psychic, Double Team. Sceptile multiplied himself into several fake copies. Use Flash Cannon on all of them. Steven called the move to get rid of the double team. Use Dragon Claw on Metagross. As Metagross was destroying the fake copies, Sceptile was able to land the Dragon Claw on his opponent, though it wasn't very effective. Metagross still took some damage. Use Meteor Mash. Steven called the next attack. Block it with Leaf Blade. The Leaf Blade collided with the Meteor Mash as both Pokémon were forced back due to the impact. Use Signal Beam. Steven used his trump card. Block it with Leaf Storm. Sceptile was quick enough to use the Leaf Storm to block the incoming attack. Steven looked frustrated. Get in close. Use Zen Headbutt. Ash smiled as he was waiting for Metagross to get in close. Night Slash. Sceptile was too fast for Metagross as it went out of the Zen Headbutt and landed the super effective attack as Metagross hit the ground. "Metagross, can you battle?" Metagross had not given up yet. On seeing this, Steven called the next attack. "Good, then use Meteor Mash, Dragon Claw," Ash called the counter move. Just as the attacks were about to hit, Steven changed his tactics, called the next attack. Dodge it and use Signal Beam. The Bug-type move landed on Sceptile, who took some damage but shrugged it off. "Well done, but you have to do a lot more than that to take down Sceptile," Ash said as he went on his usual offensive route. Use Double Team and Leaf Storm. Metagross, use Signal Beam all around. The Double Team along with the Leaf Storm had shielded Sceptile for his next attack. Night Slash again and again and again. Metagross, look for Sceptile and use Meteor Mash. Sceptile used the Night Slash and hit his target once, twice, thrice before the Meteor Mash could block the fourth time. Metagross had taken way too much damage. It barely hung around. Double Team again. Metagross, use Psychic on all of them, end this with Night Slash. Perfect hit once more as Metagross could no longer continue and reverted to its original form. Steven had lost all his Pokémon. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this part. If you want more, like this video, hit that notification bell, and maybe even give a comment on your thoughts on the video. With that being said, I'll see you all in the next part.